Do you see that? Well, look again. That's a soccer ball. A universally loved ball that powers one of the biggest sports in the whole world. It's weird that such a tiny ball can power something that brings people together so much. Places like England and places like Italy, people play soccer all the time. But not in America. At least, not until December 17th, 1995.
Hi, and welcome to MLS Year in Review. I'm Bob Lee. We're here to celebrate a goal not found on any stat sheet, a goal that originated not from the force of one man's foot, but from the combined will of men and women the world over. Major League Soccer, a league that began with the commitment of a few and grew to write history in the course of just one season.
In 1988, America was awarded the 1994 World Cup. The event was extremely successful in the U.S. and was played throughout the entire country. It was played in venues like Stanford Stadium and the Rose Bowl and the Pontiac Silverdome. Okay, you guys do you, but I don't know about that one. Anyway, along with this title of the World Cup holders, America was also given a partnership with FIFA to establish a Division I soccer league in America.
The building blocks are in place for a successful league, and within 6 months, we will have our opening game.
New logos, new uniforms. MLS unveiled itself to the world. 10 MLS teams in 10 major league cities.
In the years to come after 1994, MLS worked on building its brand, getting sponsorships from corporations and powerful people. The MLS was ready to begin its journey as a professional soccer league and find its pool of players. The player pool was to consist of college players drafted in the MLS draft, foreign players who would sign from Europe, and even 3 American national team players and other faces from the 1994 World Cup would all play in the MLS. In December of 1996, the league announced that it would play its first game in April. With the teams picked and the 10 cities selected, all that's left to do is play the first season. As the MLS opened to a packed house, there was hope. People were expecting this for a long time to come. The energy, the play level, everything looked great. And it looked like the MLS had a great future to come. Or does it? To put it nicely, the MLS was boring. With the poor quality of play, it made people uninterested. And every week, the ratings went down. Overall, however, the first season of MLS was a success. It showed that an American market could at least take in an American soccer league. It ended with DC United beating the LA Galaxy in the MLS Cup, and the Tampa Bay Mutiny, having the best record before the playoffs, wins the league title, or the Supporters' Shield. With 1996 all wrapped up, we go into the 1997 season with hope. But little do we know that the rest of the 90s will be a nightmare for the MLS. The 1997 was another lackluster season for the MLS. People were unhappy with the poor products, ratings were going down, and many people were upset with the Americanization of the sport. Things like penalty shootout and the draft just weren't appealing to the fans like the MLS thought it would. Overall, the 1997 season was very mediocre. It represented a trend of going down that the MLS will show for the next couple of years. At the end of the 1997 season, DC United won the MLS Cup and the Supporters' Shield to sweep both championships. 1998 was another mediocre season. People weren't happy with the product on the field, and it showed in the ratings drop. But this wasn't even the worst thing that happened to US soccer in 1998. The failure at the 1998 World Cup in Paris, France, might have been the hardest blow to the MLS yet, as the US failed to make it out of the round of 32 stage. They lost their final game to Iran 2-1. The 1999 season was overshadowed by something much bigger and possibly much more important. During the 1999 Women's World Cup, which was held in the US, the women's team went on a run, and they went really far. They ended up beating China in penalties to win the Women's World Cup. This gave American soccer a boost. People were now paying attention. Thanks to Brandi Chastain and her team, the MLS gets a little bit of a boost because soccer is back on the map in the US. As for the 1999 MLS season, DC United would take the title of Supporters' Shield and the MLS Cup. That marks the end of the 90s, and as for the next 2 years, 2000 and 2001, we're going to be skipping over those because those are largely unimportant to us. But as for 2002, this year gives us one of the most important key moments in MLS history. Coming off the success of the US women's national team, the men, led by Landon Donovan, took the energy and ran with it. They went really far once again. They made it all the way to the quarterfinals against Germany. Sadly, they lost 1-0, but going to the quarterfinals is no small feat, especially for the USA. So this was a big, important boost for the MLS. In the years following 2002, the MLS was sort of cruising forward. But there was one more thing the league decided to do that was finally going to cement MLS as the US's soccer league. In 2007, the MLS decided to redo the salary cap. The rule before in the MLS was you could never go over the salary cap, similar to other American leagues like the MLB or the NFL. This was not the case in Europe, however. In Europe, there was no salary cap. You could spend as much money as you want. And in 2007, the MLS finally pulled the trigger. They were going to abolish the current salary cap rule and change the rules. Now, each MLS team is allowed 3 designated players. These 3 players are allowed to go over the salary cap. This allows the MLS to get star players and compete with Europe. The MLS got many star players, but there was one in particular that really made the MLS more popular.
It's David Beckham.
Yes, the rumors were true. David Beckham had signed with the LA Galaxy from Real Madrid for $32.5 million over a 5-year period. David Beckham teaming up with Landon Donovan and the LA Galaxy marked a turning point for the MLS. They were finally starting to gain European respect. This was huge, as the MLS was starting to look no longer like a joke and more like a real soccer league. Ever since then, the MLS has been growing exponentially every year. It's all those little moments that built up to one big moment, and one big thing. There are many lessons that one can learn from the MLS's journey. Those like hard work, perseverance, and never giving up. Let's hope the MLS experiences 100 more years of never giving up, because so far, it's been quite a ride.